Hey there, David Gordon from TheaterMania here. It is December 10th, 2020. I'm here with the great Larry Powell. As an actor, you might have seen Larry in The Christians, George McBride, Father Comes Home from the War, parts 1, 2, and 3, the great Suzanne Laurie Parks play. Larry, you are a writer yourself. You're calling it a digiplay that the Fountain Theater is presenting online. Tell us about it.
Yeah, this is a play that I wrote last year, part of the Lark Play Development Center's inaugural LA Writers Retreat. And the Lark, of course, is an incredible space for us playwrights and has been a fortress for so many of us. And I'm so thankful to be a part of the sort of core playwright group there. So when we came to do the writing and do the work, John Eisner said, write the play that scares you the most. I have been experiencing incredible systemic issues, incredible events in my life that really made me feel like I was really suffocating while being a practitioner in this theater community that I love so much.
Yeah.
And I just didn't know how to continue as a theater practitioner and as an artist, as an actor, as a writer. And so I went home that night and I just poured my soul out on the page like I've never done before, and I continue to write it. So I put up a staged reading of that play that I finished that week at the Greenway Court Theater in LA in 2019. And then by 2020, it had become a Eugene O'Neill finalist for this year, which I'm so excited about.
I was going to say, tell me about I'm sorry to interrupt you, but it's such a cool trajectory of just like the assignment is write down the thing that scares you the most. And then it goes on to become like a finalist at one of the most prestigious things in the country.
Right. And it's like, it is so crazy because what I was writing about is not what I experienced at the O'Neill. Like I didn't experience what I'm writing about at the O'Neill. So it's interesting because the O'Neill is a space where I have felt free enough to explore my artistry, right? But it's just that goes to show when you take an action against your greatest fear, transformation occurs. Transformation in your life, transformation in your art, transformation in just who you are. When you say, I'm scared of talking about this out loud, or I hear the stories nonstop. A lot of people think that this is like, a very personal story for me. And it is in a way, but really it's a lot of people's story in one.
Yeah.
And so, anyway, once I was a finalist for the O'Neill and 2020 was here, I was like, I really want to do my play. I really want to produce my play, but all the theaters are closed. And I had already been pivoting, that word we love to use right now. I have already been making my plays into audio dramas or because I'm on the advisory council at LA Theater Works. And so I have been
I love them.
I love them so much, right? And so I'm like, oh, I want to do this with my play. And I had my play Lost Dog, which was a semifinalist for the O'Neill. I did a recording of it, I think last year or something like that, at LA Theater Center. And other ways that I've been, trying to find out how I can bring my play to people who don't necessarily know that theater is for them. Because that's the biggest thing for me. The people I write for, they don't think that they can go to the theater. They don't think that it's for them. They don't think they can afford it. They probably can't afford it, stuff like that. And so I'm always trying to find ways to bring the theater to them. And so when this year hit and the summer hit and we were all in our homes, and thank God I had a home to be in, I was like, I want to make this into a series.
Yeah. and then we have The Gaze, which you can watch on the Fountain Theater's website. 3 last episodes premiere tomorrow. It's a really cool show. It's got a great cast. Sharon Lawrence, T.C. Carson.
Yeah. Vera Rogers, Jason Freckle Green, Galen J. Williams, Eugene Bird, Yvette Casson.
So it's a show. It's a show about the systemic racism in the theater industry on a basic level. Is that fair to say?
It's fair to say it's really a show about anyone who has felt as though they haven't felt free enough to express themselves as they truly are and what they really know about themselves and about the experience that we're telling the story about in the room. Really, we talk about the Christians. I felt so free in the Les Waters in that space, Lucas Nath, and my entire cast in the theaters in which they were produced, those shows, those productions, I felt so free to be able to tell what I know about being a preacher.
Yeah.
I'm a fourth generation preacher's kid, even though I may not have fundamental beliefs about Christianity, like that I know how to tap into that. So why are you gonna mess with me?
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, just let the artist like share, and then a collaboration is a must, and it's fun and it's amazing, and it's not always easy, and it's like, you know, it doesn't have to be you're my whipping boy. It doesn't have to be, you know, I know more about this experience than you do, the person who has lived it. It doesn't have to be, you know, that's the issue sometimes in the collaborative space that as I've experienced and as I've talked about with my people over and over and over and over again. But then also it's about opportunity, and it is about, you know, the microaggressions and the system that we are breaking down.
And I feel like the theater industry is, I mean, I don't feel like I know the theater industry is rife with stuff like that, I seriously hope people are actually reevaluating now, as opposed to just sending out, you know, a statement on a website and then doing no work.
Right.
And I'm not sure a lot of them are.
But I think that if they were to watch the Gaze No Homo, I mean, I'm serious, or in other plays that are my tribe, you know, there are a lot of pieces that are coming out. But if they produced the Gaze No Homo, or like licensed it, or like wanted to find a way to stream as a production, I think that that's a way to say, hey, we're actually doing the work, because then you can have conversations around this piece of work, which is my dream.
And I think the thing that people are most afraid of are conversations, because I think, you know, it's the same thing with you writing the play. It's scary to talk about the things that make you scared in a way.
Yes.
But you got to do it. I mean, in some cases.
Because then you're still enslaved. Like, you have to do it because, first of all, we are artists. And as actors, writers, directors, producers, stage managers, scene designers, light designers, artists, theater makers, especially, our job is to be risky.
Yeah.
It's to take risks.
Exactly.
It's to say, hey, this is what's wrong in society. Like, let us show you. Like, so that's already risky. You know, so like as an artist, if you're not being courageous or bold enough, then what's really going on here? What are you really saving face for? What are you really worried about, being a squeaky wheel or being a loose cannon, or all those things? You know, we've been pegged as difficult, or being pegged as a loose cannon or a squeaky wheel because you're the one that's like wants to speak out and wants to be the truth teller. But here we are in this time where resources are limitless, and it's interesting that the truth tellers are the ones that see a resourcefulness where others see a lack of resource, because we have been in that space for years. We have had to say, well, how else do I get what I want to get done? Since those people may feel this way, or this person may have heard about this, and because they weren't actually in this room, but this happened. And, you know what I mean? It's like the hearsay and all that. It's you know, it's not new, but that we're here in 2020 where people are like, listen, this whole gaze, like, we have to really dismantle a lot of this shit and move forward.
Yeah, I want to talk about adapting your play as a sort of episodic series. And as a writer, like, process questions are the worst, because it's like, yeah, I sit down and write, but how do you like go and adapt this play into, you know, 10, 11, 12 episodes?
I know.
You know what I mean?
Right. Now, well, there are 12 scenes. So really, you know, I really have coined this term, and I Googled it and looked it up and figured, you know, it's called a digiplay. And that's what I really think, you know, originally I have done is really brought my play to the digital stage. Like, you know, so screenplay, teleplay, I call it a digiplay. Yeah. And so in that way, I use this process to do the dramaturgical work that I would have been doing or that I would have dreamt of doing had I had gone to the O'Neill this summer.
Yeah.
Or basically my own homework, because I still want to do more work on my play at the O'Neill. Right. But I took it scene by scene and I made it, I said, okay, it has to meet this medium. So certain circumstances need to change because I'm going to take as much advantage of this medium as possible, right? I know we have to shoot 100% remote because remember, we did this in June. Right. We were preparing in like April and May. So like, praying my strongest prayer to make sure that, to let that SAG was going to let us, do it, our number, because we were SAG compliant. We were COVID compliant. We were SAG cleared. All these things were, this was uncharted territory. So I was like, how do I adapt it scene by scene? Let me just take it scene by scene. And yeah, I had help with Jalen Livingston, who is one of my most beloved collaborators and partners in crimes, and also Devere Rogers, who plays Sean Corey in the play and in the series or Digiplay, because it really is those two things. And I really think that it's exciting for me to see it in that way, that it is an intellectual property that can be experienced in all these different mediums. So all these different people can get the story wherever they're getting the story. So it is technically a new media series, but it also actually technically is a digital play because it actually also is my play. Right. And then it also can be an audio play. And so it's like, I'm actually excited to be at the beginning thinking about how I can diversify the outlets. You know what I mean? At the beginning. Yeah. So I had to break the play down in that way. But really it was kind of, not that it was easy because we did it very fast, but it was, the structure. I made sure that I had an outline structure of how I was going to approach the work, break it down scene by scene, and just make sure that, I had enough, beginning, middle, and end in each scene, so that I could take it from episode to episode, if that makes any sense.
It does. And just on a technical level, in terms of viewership, like something like this will have more viewers during its run online than it ever would in a theater, just by virtue of theater seats and runs at theaters. You know what I mean? So that must be you must be really excited about that.
Yes, David, I'm so excited about that. Nothing takes the place of a live performance.
Of course not.
I say that as someone who graduated from Carnegie Mellon in 2008 and have spent the past 12 years on stages.
Nothing will ever take that place.
Nothing will ever take the place of a live theatrical experience. That's why, again, like the play is different than the Digiplay, but they are the same story. But it's the experience of it is so rewarding. But that being said, when you talk about, who am I writing this for and who do I want to see it? Like, people in my neighborhood, it's easy for me to be like, go check out this link, or let me shoot you this link. Then, hey, can you come all the way across town and pay $80 plus to come sit in the theater where there's all these other people that if we weren't in the theater, they will be looking at you sideways, or they will be thinking you're probably trying to rob them, or they will be thinking this and this and that. And so now you're in a space, so you can be in the comfort of your own home or with your homies and watch it. And I think that the story is able to impact in a greater way because you're in a space that you feel comfortable.
Yeah.
For the most part, because some people may not feel comfortable even at home. So.
Right. Larry, thank you for your time.
Yeah.
I really appreciate it. We can find the Gaze, thegazeseries.com. It's on the Fountain Theater's website. Is it indefinitely available? Are there restrictions that, in terms of the contracts, they have to take it down at a certain point?
We are going on a world tour. Okay, we're going on a world tour. No, we're really excited for people to get excited about it and to give us other opportunities to stream it on other platforms. It's very important to me that it goes to different places so that different audiences are sure to see it. So it will be streaming at the Fountain through December, but then come 2021,
the world is waiting.
Yes, but go to thegazeseries.com to stay updated and definitely support the Fountain because they've been great.
Larry, be well. I really appreciate your time and talking about it.
Thank you, David.
Thanks, everyone. You too. And thanks everybody for watching. Take care.
Yeah.